Alright, listen up, my Gooch maniacs. I am back. Before I get started on this video is not intended for all audiences. So if you have children, ask them to leave the room. If you're watching this at work, put in your earbuds or wait until you get home to watch this so you won't offend anybody. This could be one of my more controversial videos, and this is a reshoot because the initial shoot that I did, I mentioned some names. They ended up being involved, so I had to redo the video. Now with that said, I'm going to give you a few seconds to get the kids out of the room, or either to put your earbuds in, or either cut the video off and watch it when you get home. Okay, now with that said, this is episode 236. I know my last two videos said 332 and 334. That was purposely done for those of you who watch on a regular basis. And nobody picked it out or left a comment saying otherwise. If you would have, you would have gotten an award, okay? Also, if you want to make a donation to keep my videos going, go to PayPal, look at my name on PayPal, and just send the money that way. Now, with that said, this video, I want to talk about Pedophile Island. You know, the whole Jeffrey Epstein case. Let's go over the names that we already know have been mentioned either in documents or in witness testimonies. And then I'm going to go give my speculation of people I believe may be involved and we don't know about it yet. And tell you why some of these people will never face justice. And there will be names of people on both sides of the aisle. There will be a lot of celebrities I'm mentioning this. There are even going to be some CEOs and tech company people. So this video might not even stay up very long. It might even get pulled down. So here goes. We all know that Jeffrey Epstein allegedly committed suicide because he got caught sex trafficking young girls, underage girls, to a private island. Now, I know I'm going to mispronounce her name, Genzel Maxwell, Genzel, or Genzel, or however you pronounce her name, first name, Maxwell, has been arrested, and she'll probably commit suicide or have an accident while in jail. But these are some of the names that we already know have been involved with the island. Tom Hanks. Now, don't get me wrong, I liked a lot of Tom Hanks' movies from the past. And I'm not really all that shocked, because I knew there was something skeevy about Tom Hanks. But his name's already come up. That's why he moved to Greece. He pulled a Roman Polanski, moved to Greece and became a citizen of Greece because Greece will not expedite their citizens to America to face trial for any crime. And that's why Tom Hanks will never be brought to justice. Just like Roman Polanski, because he moved to Greece to keep from getting expedited. Another name that popped up, which was one of the names I was speculating in the last video, that's why I'm doing the reshoot, is George Clooney. Maxwell already claimed that she and a couple of underage and a couple of young girls, which I assume when she says young girls, she's talking about underage girls, have performed oral gratification on George Clooney. That doesn't surprise me at all. And like I said in the video that I'm now, and that this one's replacing, I wouldn't have been surprised. Y'all know I talk about my inside source when it comes to a particular form of entertainment. And a guy that worked with me and a young lady that used to date George Clooney, who used to work with me in this particular form of entertainment. And my inside source told me that part of the reason why this individual young lady broke up with George Clooney was because he wanted her and an underage family member of hers to have a three-way with him. Don't know if that's true, but that's what my inside source told me. And I kept it under my hat because I didn't want to say anything because people go, oh, you don't like Clooney. But considering that this just came out that he has visited the island, I can now say it. You know, a lot of this is speculation, a lot of this is conjecture. And don't take it as fact until everything is proven. These people do deserve to be considered innocent until proven guilty. But I'm just saying from what documents are showing and from what I've heard over the years. And that's on all these cases. On everybody I'm going to mention in this. It's either because of what documentation is starting to show and what I've heard or what I believe about these individuals. And it's not fact, not based on fact. This is all based on my conjecture, what I'm seeing, and what I could possibly be seeing coming out of this. So I'm not spreading fake news. I'm laying out what I believe, and that's all I'm doing. What I'm seeing, well, no, it's not what I believe, it's what I'm seeing in either documents or because of how close these individuals are to other individuals that are involved in this case. We know about Prince Andrew from England. He'll never face justice because England will not give up a member of the royal family. And it's conjecture that maybe the royal family had something to do with Epstein's suicide. All right. Here's another person whose name is on that list. They're already in jail for rape. And that's Harvey Weinstein. That might be why Harvey Weinstein ain't saying anything. Or either if he is, they're keeping it very quiet because he's probably selling people out. But Harvey Weinstein was another person who visited the island. We already have documentation saying that Kevin Hart, the actor Kevin Hart, visited the island. We also have proof that former President Bill Clinton visited the island. And we know he and Jeffrey Epstein were really good friends. Don't have to take y'all back to the 90s and mention the whole Monica Lewinsky thing, because that's already out in the open. But there was recent documents released in the investigation where a young lady under oath said that she asked Jeffrey Epstein why is former President Bill Clinton there, and he was there with two young girls. That's what the documentation said. And Jeffrey Epstein jokingly said that he owes him a few favors. And it's also note that every time he went to Epstein's island, he did not take Secret Service with him. And Bill Clinton was the last president to receive lifetime Secret Service protection. So he traveled to Epstein's Island without Secret Service. Why do you think that is? I'm just laying out what we know in the documentation, and I'm just giving you my speculation on from what we're seeing in the documentation. Bill Cosby has visited the island. That's been recently brought out. We know that Mark Zuckerberg has visited the island. We know former governor, I can't remember which state, and former Bill Clinton's secretary, can't remember what department he was secretary of, Bill Richardson, has visited the island. So we know all these individuals have already visited this island. So those are the ones we know. And then you have the whole pizza scandal where there was a pizza place that was known for trafficking young girls for sex as sex slaves. And we know Ellen DeGeneres on her talk show made jokes and references to pizza parties at certain celebrities' homes. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ellen DeGeneres is somehow involved. Now, the document said that Epstein's restrictions for the island was that there would be no black girls unless they were exotic. And with that being exotic, meaning from Africa, not from America, that's what they meant by the word exotic. That's what I believe they were meaning when they said unless they looked exotic. And who has a lot of money? Who owns a girls' school in Africa that's being investigated as a possible for possibility of sex trafficking? And she's the biggest name on the planet. She's the richest person, one of the richest people in the world, Oprah Winfrey. I wouldn't be surprised if she was involved. We know she was buddies with Epstein. We know she was buddies with Harvey Weinstein. There are photos of her and Harvey Weinstein even hugging each other. Like I said, this is all speculation. These people had to be proven guilty in a court of law. I'm just telling you what I think could come out of all this. I wouldn't be surprised if Johnny Depp was one of the people who visited the island. I wouldn't be surprised if Anthony Weiner's name would come up on there. Because we know he's in serving time for sexting a 14-year-old girl. And knowing him, because his family and the Clintons are such really good friends, I wouldn't be surprised if him and Bill were off on the island while Abba Ebadoon, or whatever how you pronounce his wife's name, and Hillary were having a little fun of their own. Speculation, that's a joke. It's part of my comedy. But anyway, I wouldn't be surprised if Bill Gates showed up as somebody who's showed up on that island. Let's talk about politicians. I want to start with the left. I wouldn't be surprised if the current presidential candidate for the Democrat Party, Joe Biden, has visited the island. I mean, he's made some bizarre statements about when he was in the pool, his hair would turn blonde and would come up and kids would rub his legs. And I mean, we got pictures of him doing some very unnatural touching of young girls. So, I mean, the evidence kind of points to he possibly visited the island when he was a senator, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if Adam Schiff shows up in the as somebody who's visited the island. There's something about Adam Schiff that makes you think he would not be inclined to visit the island. I wouldn't be surprised if the late Senator John McCain had ever visited the island. I wouldn't be surprised if Mitt Romney had visited the island. And the reason why I'm saying that about Mitt Romney is because he is a Mormon. And the Mormons here in America, they don't practice it like the Mormons in other countries, but they believe in more than one wife, and they believe you can marry someone as young as 12. It's actually part of their religious belief. Same thing with Islam. Islam believes you should be able to marry somebody as young as 9. It's not practiced in America, but it is practiced in other countries. But I'm not saying it's the truth. I'm not saying that that's factual. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me. This is, like I said, it's speculation. It's because of certain things that don't seem right about these particular individuals. This is the only reason why I'm saying that. Now, like I said, if these individuals if they've showed up on an island, if they get arrested, they have to be proven guilty by a shadow of a doubt. They have to, whatever comes out of it, if they get tried and they get found innocent, okay. Now, another name that showed up on that list of people who visit the island is Alan Dershowitz. And yes, he was a part of Trump's defense team during the whole bogus impeachment trial, but he's not a Republican. He's actually a Democrat, but he's a constitutional lawyer, and he also represented Epstein. So, and Alan Dershowitz, he's kind of flake, so, I wouldn't doubt it if we saw Bruce Jenner, aka Caitlyn Jenner, as he likes to be called now. I wouldn't be surprised if he ever showed up on the island. There's several other people in Hollywood that I wouldn't be surprised about, like R. Kelly, because we already know the stories about R. Kelly. I wouldn't be surprised if the late Michael Jackson hadn't visited the island. And it's a whole lot more. And these are just some of the names I've thrown out, or names that I'm either speculating or either we already have documentation showing that they have visited the island. I'm not saying they were doing the same stuff that Epstein was doing, but it is kind of fishy that they visited the island. And I give you what evidence I have on the ones that visit the islands. And the evidence I have with the other ones ain't really evidence. It's more like, because they're so closely involved with the individuals that have visited the island, it makes it kind of questionable if these individuals hadn't visited the island too. And that's the only thing that I'm saying. Like I said, they got to investigate this. They got to search out, see what's what. And it might be even more names that I haven't speculated on. And we will not know until everything comes out. And we might not know about any of these people at all. And the ones we do know about, most of them are going to get by with it because they went to Greece or they're in another country, or because they are rich, powerful people and they can get by with doing whatever they want to, because justice don't work the same for normal people like you and I as it does for them. A few of them might fall because they're not high enough up on the food chain, but other ones will not. The ones who can afford it will probably get by with it if they're involved. I know this was a touchy situation, touchy topic, and I know I'm probably going to get some negative comments. People are going to say, oh, you're crazy. But when I shot this, I said I wouldn't be surprised if George Clooney wasn't involved, and then this information came out about George Clooney. I'm just saying. But like I said, this is all either what we have in documents that makes me think this, and the close association with the individuals that were involved makes me think this. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying these people are guilty. I'm not accusing anyone of anything, because I don't want you to say, well, you're accusing these people. No, I'm just stating what documents show, what I'm speculating, what could possibly come out of this. I'm just saying, because of how Hollywood and the media and politicians are so closely knitted together, and how they're constantly trying to control narratives and all, it wouldn't surprise me that these individuals were involved. And speaking of media, I wouldn't be surprised if Fredo Cuomo and his brother Andy hadn't visited the island a time or two themselves. Then again, a lot of that speculation is coming from the fact that I don't like New Yorkers. People already know I don't like New Yorkers. I explained that in a live feed why I don't like people from New York. With the exception of a handful, like a good friend of mine who's passed away and his family. I love them because they were good people. And they weren't like the scumbag who was supposed to be my best friend at the time, making a pass at my now passed late fiance, late ex-fiance. And because of my friendship with him, that kind of hurt the relationship I had with her. But that's a story for a different time. But like I said, this is just speculation. It's no facts behind some of it. Some of it we have documentation. These individuals have been on the island, but we can't prove it that they did anything until the investigation runs its course. And to be honest with you, most of these people, if they're involved, the ones who we know were on the island and the ones that I'm speculating about, there's no proof. Even if they did the right argument, they'll probably get by with it because of their wealth and their power. The justice system doesn't work for the wealthy as it does for the poor. But I think Tom Hanks figured he was the smallest fish in the pond, and he would be the one taking the fall, so that's why he moved to Greece and became a citizen of Greece. And I'm speculating that's why he did it. We know that's why Roman Polanski did it. Even if these people's names are brought up, the ones I'm speculating about are brought up, you're going to have other ones like Whoopi Goldberg and the Harpies on The View. they're going to rationalize, oh, well, they weren't involved. They were just friends, and they didn't know he was like that. And yes, it is possible to be friends with somebody who's a pedophile and you not know it because they have you duped into thinking they're a great person. I know. I've been down that road. So I hung out with a guy named Scott Capley, who I felt sorry for because he got fired. I was really good friends with him. I lent him money. I was helping him out until he got it back up on his feet. He ends up getting arrested for trying to pick up a 14-year-old. I was devastated, and if you ask anybody who knows me, they'll tell you I was devastated. It basically destroyed me because I had no idea he was like that. If I did, I would have never taken him around my nieces. Luckily, he didn't touch any of my nieces, because if he would have, I would be in jail for murder, okay? But it is possible to hang out with somebody and not know that they're like that. But in this case, it's kind of hard to say that you've gone to this island where it was happening and you're not involved. See, whenever Scott did everything that he did, I wasn't with him. He did it when I wasn't with him. He did these things when I was working, and he just happened to get caught. And I'm not the only person that didn't know about Scott. A lot of people who thought highly of Scott and hung out with Scott thought that too. That's it for this particular video. This is one of my longer ones. Like I said, these people are innocent until they're proven guilty. And the ones I'm speculating about, if their names pop up, I'm just saying it's only because of their close relations with the ones that we know have already visited the island. Until then, take care of yourself. Peace out. God bless you. Love you. And keep the Gooch going. Like I said, if you want to, find my name go to PayPal, type in my name, and donate if you like to donate. I'll take as much as $1. I'll take as much as $2. Whatever you feel like giving. Just more than 45 cents. It won't let me get anything below 45 cents as a donation on there. I have 45 cents, but it won't let me claim it because it's too low of a price point. Too low price point for me to get it right now. But I appreciate everything y'all do. I love y'all. And remember, don't hate the Gooch because he's sexier than you. Hate the Gooch because he's better than you.